our studio in Newport Beach, California. Welcome to another edition of the Chab Dog Sports Talk Radio Show. Sometimes scattered, but always edgy. We're an authentic take on sports talk. Rated R. Chab Dog brings you Eric, the well-read, Frank, the tank, Brian from Sports Rock, and special guests. We're here to talk sports. We're here to rant and vent. We're here to take it up another notch. Now here's your host, Chab Dog.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Chab Dog Sports Talk. We're on each Sunday from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific Time, brought to you by Chabner Law, serving Southern California's transactional legal needs, and by Chab Dog Sports Blog for your head of your sports headlines and biting sports commentary. And this is the Kiss Goodbye to 1976 show. We'll be playing a lot of music, clips from sporting events, and some movie clips for productions from 1976, and that was also the bicentennial year. You remember that, the whole bicentennial thing, Eric?
Hey, Chab Dog. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I know.
Niagara Frontier.
It was a nice year because of that. And here's our caller, Frank Fleming from Sports Encyclopedia. Hi,
Co-host Frank Fleming.
Co-host, too, yes.
Belleville, New Jersey.
Hey.
Hey. So we're inching closer to the return of sports. We got another 2 weeks, I guess, until baseball starts, right?
Yep, about that 2 weeks.
It's 2 weeks, right? So, yeah, we'll I guess get to see a 60-game season, barring some kind of cataclysmic infection or something.
Although, if that camera angle we saw the other day is any indication, it's going to be a pretty useless product. Are they going to shoot it from somewhere mid row on down the third baseline with a stationary camera, or what, Tank? Wasn't that funny?
That was ridiculous.
You guys can fill me in more about this. I don't think I saw this.
One would hope that they do a lot better off.
Yeah, I mean, you weren't kidding when you said that I do better filming myself my own seat, because you do. I mean, that's so. Chab Dog, it was who was pitching there? Do you remember the pitcher?
I'm not exactly 100% sure because of how poorly the camera angles were.
Yeah. Anyway, so the Mets were they doing like an inter squad game?
Yeah, everyone's doing inter squads right now. There's going to be a few games, but not too many.
Yeah, and they had everything so spaced out and everyone's so far away that the cameraman was down the third baseline fixed.
Oh, because the social distancing messed up the camera work.
Yeah, it messed up everything. Yeah, it messed up the camera work, and then what we could see down on the camera, the interaction.
I'm sorry,
between
but
the plate
isn't that retarded? I mean, why would?
Hey, I like your accent.
Why do we have to put up with this shit? I mean, they're supposed to get this to look right. They're playing baseball, right? So the players aren't social distancing.
They were.
But the players have to play baseball. They can't, you have to slide into somebody. There's no avoiding it. Uh-huh. So the camera people should be behaving normally too.
Yeah, you think so?
This is bullshit.
I don't know what it is. The Yankees have shown their practice games on TV. The Mets, that was the Mets have ever shown.
Is the Yankee stuff any better?
Yankee stuff looks better.
Just the Mets. The Mets can't figure it out.
Maybe it's just the Mets. It was just a Mets
But
thing.
hopefully soon they get a new owner who knows the fuck he's doing.
Oh, that's right. So the team's back and play again. Congratulations. So your consortium with A-Rod is still alive. So I hope you you live to fight another day.
But, Steve Cohen might be the odds-on favorite.
Steve Cohen. I like that name. Cohen. That's a power name. Is he a good guy?
It's a Jewish power name.
Yeah, damn straight.
Steve Cohen's is the basis of the TV show Billions. Is loosely based on him.
Nice. Well, anything will beat what you got right now.
I mean, Steve Cohen is filthy rich.
Mm-hmm. You make his money in New York? He make his money in growing up there? I'm trying to remember his backstory.
One of these these investors, I guess, has made billions and billions of dollars.
Nice. So he has a penthouse on Park Avenue kind of thing? Probably several, Would he be a good fit, really? I mean, it sounds like too good to be true, but does the guy have any any baggage out there? Anything, anti-Israel or anti-black or? He's kept his nose clean, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, look, the Mets, the Wilpons have baggage. They were best BFFs with Bernie Madoff.
Yeah, the Wilpons are damaged goods right now. No, it's too late. They've shown what they can do, and they're obviously out of money. The team needs some deep pockets to replenish. It's such a shame. And a new vision. But what am I to say the team needs? You're the fan. You're the biggest fan of all. You're the super fan. So what do you think they'll hold the team together? So if okay, let's just go worst case here. If they won't make any major changes while they're contemplating a sale, will they?
Probably not.
Good. So that's good.
One of the local radio hosts, Chris Carlin, he said that Steve Cohen is a bad guy to own the team. That both billionaires are bad for the world. That the Mets should give the team to George Floyd's family. It was changing the world. And he said they might lose for a decade or two, but there'll be people, they'll be woke, and that's more important.
Wow. Why didn't I think of that? That's brilliant. Yes. They should the Wilpons should just give the team.
And De Blasio might step and give the team to his wife.
Well, what do the Wilpons need the money for?
Do you know Blasio's wife is getting $2 billion? It's $2 billion disappeared.
Well, it's up to $2. It was a billion the last time I heard it. It's up to $2 now.
3 pensions.
Oh yeah.
And 17 no-show jobs.
Yeah, that's been well known. That's been known. This isn't new news. This has been known for a while. That she's milking the system in plain sight. That the De Blasios, as a couple, are milking the system in plain sight. It's been in story after story after story. Why does the city of New York? I was asking another New Yorker about this yesterday. Why does the city of New York give these people passes? Sorry.
His approval rating 81%. They actually went to ask someone on the street, and this is exact words. As long as I get what's coming to me, it's good to see the politicians get a little something. All I need is to live everything free. All politicians have all the power. All politicians have all the power and all the money. All the do-re-mi, as long as I get what's coming to me.
Do re mi.
That's it.
The do re mi. That explains it a lot, Tank. Actually, that explains it a lot. Yeah, and an 81% approval rate in the face of what's occurring right now. That's
They actually had the 2,000 kids, Mariah Carey, come up and sing that hero. And the Blasio's wife, Mariah Carey, gave her a tiara, a $2 million tiara.
yeah. They are walking around with some pretty good flash. It's going to take years to unravel how all that showed up on a mayor's salary.
In New Jersey, Phil Murphy's thinking about shutting everything down again, and then he's going to go out and say free a private concert from Bruce Springsteen, Bon Jovi, and the 50th celebrities. And they're going to say that everyone else in New Jersey is officially a peasant, and they're going to ban, they're going to shut down laundromats, and the last clothes right hand. And AOC out there going, this is the way you wash the clothes, wash the clothes, wash the clothes. These people, they say this for the people, but what they really are is they want everyone to be a peasant.
Yes, it's clear. This is socialism. This is the socialist game book, guys. This is what we were when we were reading in school, and they were in our early formative years when they were giving us books like Animal House in 1984. This is what they were talking about, and this is that pervasive idea that's coming out. And this is the socialist game plan, and they're trying to impart it like it's some kind of normal thing. Here it is. We're talking about it today when we should be talking about sports. So the socialists, to that degree, are winning to the fact that we even have to talk about this bullshit, which is what it is. It's total bullcrap. I hear what you're saying, Tank, but you and I know that's not true, and we have to turn around now and state it and lock arms with our other fellow U.S. citizens here who still outnumber all the rest of you fuckers out there. So, all you transgenders, everybody else, I'm for your rights, but you got them. Time to sit down and be quiet. Let's get back to peace and order, please. Well, they keep pushing, but it's like, what do you want now? It's like you already got what you asked for, and now you just pushing because you're pushing. Like, out of good manners, you are lacking good manners. That's not a racial thing. That's a you thing. You're lacking good manners. Get back in the corner, sit down. You're 5% of the population, and just be be grateful for what you got.
And now they're calling to tear down the Washington Monument.
Is that seriously? Is there any chance that could happen?
I don't know. I just can't believe that's even.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're going to when Biden gets elected, they're going to send F-1 bombers to blow up Mount Rushmore.
Could you imagine? That'd be like what the Taliban did.
The ultimate acts of
they took down those Buddhist
self-flagellation
in the 1990s. If that happens, If that happens, what's the over/under for civil war?
And they're thinking about also going into states like Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Oklahoma, and kicking people off their land.
Really?
And putting them in tenement housing.
Where did you read this, Frank?
So back to the natives.
Sounds like Red Dawn. Is that from the movie Red Dawn?
And Elizabeth Warren said, "It's your home. It's their land."
Do you want to play the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest clip?
We got 700 million likes.
We got your alter ego here,
Elizabeth
Frank.
Warren? Yeah, she's an Indian.
No, isn't it back the other way?
Liz talked that he might be the vice president, and she says that
that one.
90% taxes. She says, I'm tired of people talking about their money like it's their money. We put their money. It's hard money, and we need it. What do you do?
That's exactly how she'd say it.
May I have my cigarettes, please, Miss Ratchet?
Here's your alter ego, Tank.
Down, Mr.
We found
Cheswick,
it. We
and
found
wait your turn.
who you do your method acting from.
Go ahead, sit down. Mr. Cheswick, you sit down.
Mr.
Yes, but I
Cheswick.
want to know.
Sit down, Mr. Cheswick.
I want to.
Give him a cigarette, will you, Harding? My last one. That's a fucking lie. Why don't you give him a cigarette? Well, look, I'm not running a charity ward, see? Come on.
I don't want his cigarettes, and I want his, or 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 even yours. Do you understand that? I want my cigarettes, Miss Ratchet. I want my cigarettes. I want mine, Miss Ratchet. What gives you the damn right to keep our cigarettes piled up on your desk and to squeeze out a pack?
God, Danny
only when
DeVito
you
looks
feel
so
like
young
it,
there.
huh?
He's on a
Miss
rant.
Ratchet,
Yes, Mr. Cheswick?
I asked you a question.
I heard your question, Mr. Cheswick. And I will answer your question as soon as you've calmed down.
Rules? Piss on your fucking rules, Miss Ratchet!
Sit down, will you, Cheswick?
I want you to know something right here and now, Miss Ratchet. I ain't no little kid.
You sit
I ain't
down.
no little kid where you're gonna have cigarettes kept from me like cookies, and I want something done. Ain't that right?
That's right, now will you sit down?
No, I won't.
It's getting everybody all wound up.
I want something done. I want
This must be what our listeners do after the show.
That was a good rant.
I want something done. I want something done.
Nicholson just got the cigarettes.
It's too late. He's already getting carried off by the big orderly. Now the orderly's having fisticuffs with. Oh, it's a shame.
They're subduing him. And Chief.
Here comes the chief.
Yeah.
Oh, remember that scene, Tank? That's from 1976.
Yep.
One flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Nurse Ratchet. That describes people like Elizabeth Warren and Hillary Clinton to a T.
How about Gavin Newsom?
He doesn't get much Newsom out east there.
You don't know about
He doesn't know about
our
Gavin
governor, California's governor? He likes to open and close and open and close.
Zips his fly up, then
He's,
zips it down.
I think he's Pelosi's nephew or something.
Yeah, he's.
Isn't he related? He's related to her.
Mhm.
Did you
Yeah,
know?
he is related to Nancy Pelosi.
So, Frank, the Washington Redskins are on walking death row right now. What are your thoughts? Really, think about the reality of this.
Raise up your pickles, raise up your hammers. Here comes a team that's gonna win. Hail to the proletariat. Hail all the way. Working class heroes from the People's District. They learn every day that to live the life of shame, Malin Marx, and they are true to our heroes. Joe Stalin, hail to the proletariat in the People's District. Working class heroes bring down the capitalist machine. Yes, everyone, it's the People's District proletariat.
Yeah, that's as sad as it is that you've summed it up completely.
Yes, the name Washington is going to be gone soon.
Who else?
Washington. They
Sorry,
can't have Washington anymore. It's going to be he's a slaveholder.
Oh, Washington. That's right. Well, if they're going to tear down Washington's monument,
So
they're
your
going to
name,
have to tear it down, and take out the
that,
name.
That name flunks on a number of levels.
Yeah, have to change the name Washington in every occurrence.
It's
Yes,
not.
it does.
It's not only Washington. It's the District of Columbia. Isn't Columbia from Columbus?
It's going to be it's going to be actually, this is what they're going to call it. Huey P. Long City.
Huey P. Long.
There's going to be statues of Huey Long everywhere.
Uh-huh.
You know the founder of Black Panthers?
I wonder if there'll be any of this guy.
So the link between Arnold Schwarzenegger, which means black nigga, I believe. Well, that's what it means. Schwarzenegger. Black nigga.
Can you name that voice?
Was that Huey Long?
Close.
He's black.
Well, Huey Long's black too.
Huey Long.
The Huey Long I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Tank, the Huey Long you're talking about is also an African American, yes?
I was thinking of the white governor, wasn't there? Huey P. Long, governor of Louisiana.
Well, who's the founder of the Black Panther Party?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, they're both
He wasn't
same
black.
name. But, well, no, not the governor of... he wasn't... Founded the Black Panther Party,
Yeah.
wasn't the governor of Louisiana, so they're two different names.
Oh,
But it was... Oh, Huey Newton.
Huey Newton. Yeah,
Huey Newton.
that was Black Panthers.
There we are.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. Huey
Yeah.
Newton. There's
Huey
going to be
Newton.
statues of Huey Newton everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And on the statue, he's going to have like a head of a white guy. And it's going to be... That's peace and justice!
Don't forget, we don't need justice. We need reparations, Tank.
What's going to happen after they get reparations?
They're going to have to come up with another demand because it just keeps on going that way.
Yeah,
that's gonna get
you know
ugly.
what that demand is.
It's one crisis will be replaced with another crisis.
Yep,
With-
that's I don't know who said it. They said that that's the goal is to never end the demand of grievance, the grievance industry. It's called.
Yes. While pursuing new ways to find grievance and new ways to define grievance. Yes. It's a miserable existence. That's socialism. That's why I left Canada to come to the United States. And now, but you know what? I guess you can't get away from it. You have to fight it somewhere. So that's the other reason I came here is if I have to fight it, I'd rather fight it here than Canada. Bunch of commies up
After
there.
they get reparations, that's still not enough. What's the only thing to do?
What's that?
After they get the reparations,
Mm.
and that's still not enough. They're still not happy.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next step?
Universal employment. Or universal pay regardless of employment.
Oh no, that's coming. That is coming.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh, regulation of the weather?
in terms of punishing white people, what's the next step after reparations?
Well, you've heard of affirmative action. It'll be the opposite of affirmative action. They'll be depopulating the workforce of whites forcibly,
Yep, that will happen.
including confiscation of property as well.
You know what's going to happen?
What else?
Indentured servitude.
In New Jersey, the union at New Jersey Bell doesn't like you. Can you repeat that, please?
Indentured servitude.
Oh, indentured servitude. How so?
Frank, they already have that. They already have that.
Of us?
Yeah, it's called marriage.
Oh. Oh. I
Just
forgot.
kidding. Just kidding.
No, that's legally that's correct. But yeah,
Indentured servitude.
indentured servants.
But this won't end.
Well,
This won't end with reparations.
can we move on to more happy subjects?
Well, no, I'm trying to understand this because Frank's been right so far. And Frank, I'm starting to join with you. We're not going to have. They're not going to play football this fall, are they?
I'm concerned that something's going to get fucked up.
Yeah.
But we are having baseball.
Well, I'm not even sure about that. Or how sure?
We hope.
Yeah. How sure are you about the baseball? Maybe 50-50?
70%.
Okay. I mean, we're getting pretty close, and it hasn't been called off. They've only got 2 weeks.
No, but once they start interfacing, and once the news starts to, so and so sick, and this guy's really, he's on a respirator. People freak out.
No sports people are going to be on respirators. Let me tell you that.
Uh-huh.
That's not going to happen. It's 99%. 99% curable.
Oh no, Tech,
Only 1%
I know.
that get it are dying.
I know, but all it's going to take is one person with any connection to MLB whatsoever going on one respirator, being one of that 1/2 of 1/10 of 1% that goes on one, and the media will pump that all over and freak people out.
Oh, of course they will. That's the media's job.
And that'll shut down baseball.
Uh-huh. The media doesn't want sports. The media wants us locked down forever.
So we'll have like a 10-game season, and then it'll get cut off, and then they'll have to do a rush playoff after that. So you get into the playoffs based on 10 games.
Yeah, and then Stalin will say, it's time for my televised address, and it'll get canceled.
Talk about a World Series championship that'll have an asterisk next to it. This could be a chance for the Mets to pick up a cheap one.
If you look at what happened to everything this year, this has been orchestrated.
Yes. I'm starting to see that. I thought that was absurd. I thought that was aluminum tin hat wearing bullcrap, but you know what, Tank? I'm starting to come over to that side too. It's just too coincidental. That a disease that really doesn't kill a whole bunch of people, but is, nasty, comes along to derail the economy, which is running extremely strong and everything running in favor of the incumbent because, geez, thinking back to that was like the land of milk and honey, what we had 6 months ago compared to where we are now. And then, as you've said, on day after election day when Biden's elected, when they steal the election or whoever occurs, everything will just suddenly disappear.
If the economy stayed strong, if there was no COVID, Biden would have a shot.
Yeah.
This is all about one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the deep state rising,
mm-hmm.
even the deep state Republicans rising. And the ultimate goal is going to be a one world government.
Oh, yeah, that's, somewhere in the future. That's not an end game anytime soon.
Not in the future. We will have a one world government within 10 to 20 years.
Well, if that government was the United States, would you have any objection to that?
Well, it might be sort of the United States. I think to try to get the American people on board, they'll put Barack Obama in charge of the world.
I don't think the Americans...
The United Nations...
I don't think the rest of the world might be okay with that, but I don't think the Americans would.
The United Nations will take over everything.
Bullshit. Yeah. That wouldn't happen. We had civil war before.
Yeah.
We'd have civil war before that occurred, Tech. And guess whose side the military's on? And I'll give you a hint. It's not theirs. Yeah.
Well,
but I actually think we're at about a 50-50 chance of having a civil war.
There you go. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure I'm at 50-50, but it's higher than I've ever thought in my life before, and higher than I ever thought it could ever be in my life.
Why don't we play the Bad News Bears clip?
We're going to have a civil war.
What's that?
If you continue the shit that we're doing, we're going to have a civil war.
Correct. It'll take years of bickering.
They're going to hit a point where people just snap.
Correct. Here's another, just like this.
I mean, this is how
No,
silly my
not
God.
this one.
No?
Well, the one with the little one with
You
he's
saw-
going to the bathroom.
You saw
tunnel.
De Blasio and Al Sharpton in front of Trump Tower
Yeah.
painting Black
Yeah.
Lives Matter.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't that nice? Yeah.
Now, who is exactly helped by doing that?
Oh, and ironically, while they were doing that, how many people were being murdered in New York and crimes were being committed?
Exactly.
Isn't crime like way up
Exactly.
right now? Isn't there like a crime spree going on in New York City?
I mean, that is childish. To paint Black Lives Matter in front of Trump Tower.
Oh, Tank,
Childish.
that'll show them. Hey, no, that was brilliant, brilliant move. Brings all the people together. Wonderful unity. Something we can all agree on.
What? There's no unity. They don't want unity. They want this division and anger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if the people of New York, and this is, where did the people of New York go, Tank? Where, I mean, you're all a bunch of wussies there now. I always thought people in New York were strong, but if you let the mob take control of de Blasio City Hall like that and run your city like that, where's all these tough people that used to, pull up and take my parking spot away and then wave their fist at me and pull out a tire wrench when I to shoo me away? Where'd those people go?
They might be working. I don't know.
Where are the people that after 9/11 gave police their due? I mean, why did we all forget about the sacrifices that our police department made on 9/11? City of New York. How short our memories are. For shame.
They don't want people to remember September 11th. They actually ran commercials. Get over it.
What? You're kidding.
They run commercials. It's time to move on
Wow.
past 9/11.
Wow. That's cold. That's so cold. Here, Chab Dog, let's change the subject to the NFL here. We'll cheer Chab Dog up. And I want to start with Deshaun Jackson's comments.
I really don't. I really don't feel the need to talk about that. I just don't.
I want to get Tank's take.
I've heard it before, and every time I hear it, I hate it. And somebody will have to apologize, and it might not be much of an apology, but
Deshaun Jackson is rather muted.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Like Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson said, "Right on." Steven Jackson went, "Right on, man."
Mm-hmm.
well, Steven Jackson's not. He's just isn't he a NBA guy?
Yeah, he said, "Right on, man."
But he's not big up in the sports press or anything, so he's marginal.
Yeah, they're actually talking, and one of the people saying, he goes, Deshaun Jackson. We got to say that he said was wrong, but he has the right to feel that way because he's part of an alienated society.
Oh, that's a new one. I haven't heard that spin yet. Okay.
That's the spin. It's always a spin.
Yeah, because of the subjugation of his mind for all those years, he comes from a compromised place, so he's allowed to hold such ideas. That's a weird way of rationale. There's something dishonest about it. Sinister.
It's just nonstop the bullshit that's going on.
Yeah, because that trope, that's an old worn-out trope, that clip there that he put up there. And, he seems to understand English pretty good, so it's not like he, is a foreigner or something like that. I mean, if you understand English of your English, he knows.
And, of course, all the people on ESPN were like bobbleheads talking about how right Colin Kaepernick was for his criticisms on the the 4th of July.
Yeah, that's where Kaepernick really, like, his credibility ended with such statements, because it wasn't about police brutality at all. He really was kneeling to attack the United States.
With him.
Well, he used that as a
was
cover. And a lot of people, including me, were willing to give him the benefit of the doubt because he used it for a while effectively as a cover. But now the cover's off, and it's like I feel like such a dope for seeing for what it was that the guy really was kneeling because he's anti-American, because he's got a problem from his privileged 1% life, which he has, by the way. I mean, he does a deal with Disney. That's 1%er stuff. You know, people do deals with Disney. That's Oprah. That's big stuff. 1%er stuff. That aren't people off the street. That isn't oppressed people getting production deals with frickin' Disney. Come on. We can see right through you. The emperor has no clothes. Right, Chad?
And you hear who's going to be one of the producers? Jamil Hill.
Oh, I was going to get to her. Yeah, she's cutting these deals too. She thinks she's all big shot. But we'll see. They'll launch. They'll put this money behind it. They'll pay the bill. They'll line their pockets with some dough, and it'll go.
No other word to describe Jamil Hill. She is a flat-out racist.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I have a hard time finding a white equivalent, to tell you the truth, in terms of someone who's as racist on the other end of the scale. I can't name one. Can you?
Jamil Hill is so racist. We could be marched into ovens, and she'd still feel that we're not enough.
Boom, boom.
That's the racist Jamil Hill.
Yeah.
That's the joke.
The weak attempt at humor, but that's not far off the mark there for Jamel Hill.
I think that if it was legal, she would shoot every white man she sees.
Well, I don't think I'd go that far. I think she'd want to keep a few around to be indentured servants, wouldn't you? With collars, dressed like Chippendales.
Let's have sex. And she keeps getting jobs, even though she is that hateful a person.
Well, it starts to show you the reality that there's incompetent people who get the jobs not because of their competency, but because of other factors. In this case, it happens to be extreme left-wing Marxist politics and a desire to voice these outrageous positions in sports.
And when you get back to it, that's what this is all about. It's not about black and white.
No.
It's about Marxism.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Black Lives Matter, that's a Marxist organization. It's run under Marxist principles. They're openly blatant about it. It's not like I even have to dig deep to find this information or anybody.
They want to keep the anger, they want to keep the division, and they want to keep the hatred.
Uh-huh.
And they want to make it even more, so they just continue to divide, anger, and cause more resentment. Because it's divide and conquer.
Mm-hmm. It's a strategy, and in an election year. Yeah, any other year, this virus might have been fine, but this is an election year. Very polarizing situation here. Got a very cranky electorate too, which creates a very volatile situation.
We're screwed. We are screwed as a country.
Well, screwed is going from Ford to Ford to Carter, as we did in 1976. Like I said, the beginning of January 77, but that was the end of the Ford administration.
The only problem is count there to come up in 2024.
What, you want Jamel Hill in 2024? Is that you blurted it out there, Tank?
No, I said, is there a Reagan out there?
Oh,
in 2024.
If there is, I can't see him yet. Jabdog, any 2024 Republican candidates? Or Democrat? I'd be happy for just a good leader.
Yeah, I don't know of anything offhand. Come riding to the rescue.
Because Biden's going to be a fucking pup. Everyone fucking knows it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a puppet. Yeah, his strings. Even Biden's best.
There's no other way to put it. He is going to be a puppet.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's amazing how the left wing of the party got control. They'll be driving. This would be Bernie. It's funny, and Bernie will be the puppet master. So Bernie couldn't be the candidate. He gets to be the next best thing. He gets to do everything from a protected position. He has to be like the shadow president, Bernie Sanders. This is everything Bernie said he was going to do. You know. Hey, Chabdog. Never thought you'd hear Bernie's name again. Bernie's alive and well. All of the whole left wing of the party just took over. Yeah, all the work that everyone else did over all the years to build the Democratic Party and get it through to this point now has been swung away.
Do you want to play some NBA highlights?
I mean, do you realize that comparatively speaking, JFK would be called a Republican extremist today compared to the rest of the Democrat Party?
What do you think, Chapduck?
He'd be called a right-wing extremist.
True or false?
Compared to this Democrat Party.
He'd definitely be on the right wing of the party.
Yes. In many instances. In policy. Not in terms of the war on poverty, although it was really Johnson who pushed through more, and not in terms of civil rights. He just couldn't get him through the House. I want to do Bad News Bears on the way over, though.
Yeah. This was really a great comment. The outfielder just took the ball away from Tanner. Caught the ball.
Hey, Tanner, does he go to the bathroom for you, too?
Big size differential there.
Did you see the Bad News Bears, Frank?
What was that?
The Bad News Bears. Did you ever see that movie?
Yes, I have.
You gotta like that, right?
He's actually like the grandson of one of the Marx
Boston
brothers.
Celtics face the Phoenix Suns in the
Which one's the grandson?
Really? Which one?
One of the kids is the grandson of Marx, of one of the Marxists.
Oh, is it Lupus?
Really?
Might have been
No, it wasn't.
Tanner?
The short kid?
Let me see which one it was.
I have a feeling it was Lupus. He had all that crazy hair.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out which of the characters on the team were identifiably Jewish.
And now my website, my screen is fucking freezing on my computer.
And which ones were the Spics?
We're not playing that one today.
Oh, Chap Dog.
Oh. This is the Celtics playing the Suns. We're playing the highlights.
Celtic faithful calling for the Suns to surrender, and had the Celtics.
The Suns wouldn't in Game 5.
Pony soldiers. Pony boy soldiers.
This is great. Celtics had all sorts of exciting
remember that Boston had us down.
Kinds of white ties there.
22 points. We had to call 3
John McLeod.
timeouts in the first quarter. We were really reeling.
Phoenix had a lot of white guys.
Quit, and their confidence grew as the Celtic lead diminished.
Paul Westphal.
As history would later show, this game was far from over.
Just kept going and going.
Ties
Cowens to
Once Phoenix
JoJo
got
White.
close, Boston was unable to shake them. And when Paul Westphal hit this driving three-point play, the score was tied at 94, and the comeback was nearly complete.
Paul Westphal was money.
39
With 3
seconds to go.
remaining, Phoenix had a chance for victory, but Dave Cowens deflected the inbounds pass, and the two teams looked towards overtime, tied at 95.
Going into the first overtime,
Garfield
we
Heard.
could beat them in the first overtime, especially once we came.
He
to
hit the
20
big
down.
shot.
But it was Boston who struck first. And with Phoenix quick to answer, the chase was on.
Havlicek.
There were so many highs and lows. You thought you had it won, and all of a sudden you were elated. Within a second, it would turn around and you felt you were defeated.
Got a
As
lot
the
of
end of
consonants in a row
overtime
there in that name.
approached, the score was still tied, but this time Boston would go for the win.
He recently passed away.
It comes to Havlicek, deep in the corner. Havlicek
Johnny Most.
is not good.
No, he missed.
Overtime coming up.
Oh, no.
As the two teams staggered into a second overtime, the pace raced faster.
And you can feel the tension in the garden start picking up and picking up.
There was a lot of tremendous individual plays
Big Red.
in those overtimes.
Second overtime, yeah.
By the end of the second OT, the challenge came not only from each other, but from
And
within.
Arsdale.
Seconds to go. Phoenix down by one.
Oh.
Here's a steal by Westfall.
Amazing.
To Perry. It won't go. Perry gets the rebound. Perry from the corner.
Perry, Curtis Perry.
Curtis Perry scores.
Yes.
5 seconds to go. Oh, I don't believe it.
It's not over, though. It's not over.
But Boston would still have
Tom
one more
Heinsohn
shot.
devising a play.
The guy we were most concerned about was Havlicek, and we wanted to have help, and I'll be a son of a gun if he didn't break loose.
Son of a gun.
He's coming around to the left.
Oh, what a big shot by Johnny Havlicek.
Boner.
A falling leaner off the glass.
The Celtic fans are going bananas. The game is not over. I don't think the game is over. There's 2 seconds.
There's 2 seconds left. Hold the presses. Watch what happens here.
I remember thinking that we won, leaving
They
the
storm the court.
Oh, I know. They got to get everyone get off the court, everybody. Get game to
Realizing
play.
that there was 1 second left on the clock, and they brought us back out.
We were down by 1, and under the rules at the time, we would have the ball out underneath the basket, which makes it almost impossible to get the ball down the floor and get a good shot in 1 second. So we decided to call a timeout.
Heads-up call by Westfall to call a timeout and give us the technical.
Oh, so they, yeah.
JoJo White made the free
So
throw.
the lead
Still up by
became
2, but we still
2.
get the ball at half court. So instead of being down by 1, we'd be down by 2. But at least we'd have a chance to tie the
Yeah,
game.
that was smart. Very smart.
Wow.
We had a 2-option play, and one was designed for Paul Westfall down in the corner.
Yeah, I like it, Fonzie.
And the other option was for Curtis Perry to throw the ball to Garfield
Where?
Bird up the top of the key.
Nelson stood between myself and the basket, so the only thing I could do was break out to get the ball. And I got a good pass from Curtis, and just kind of like instant reaction, just turn and shoot and hope that you get it off. And
Wow. Turn and shoot.
Oh. They weren't even covering him, I don't think.
No,
He was just wide open.
I know.
And when I took the shot,
Why was he so wide
I don't know if it was
open?
on the film or not, but I kind of looked over at
I
the
guess he
official to
thought he
make
was
sure.
not gonna
And when he threw his hand up in the air,
He
I
got a
was just hoping it
cover.
would go in.
As two
big smile.
physically and emotionally drained teams pushed towards a third overtime, the only thing that
Don
didn't
Nelson.
suffer was the quality of play.
Oh.
But as night became morning, fatigue was undeniable and Boston's bench became a factor.
Fourth
At the end of
overtime.
that third overtime period,
Third.
there was a lot of players that were role players. Your 8th, your 9th, your 10th people were on the floor playing the nitty-gritty time.
Back out to Havlicek. Underneath to McDonald to fall away. Glenn McDonald!
But to counter Boston's depth, Phoenix reached deep inside.
He was incredible.
To the credit of our players, they never gave up. I'll say one thing about that 76 team. They refused to quit.
In the final seconds,
Yeah, no kidding.
the Suns again closed within 2 points. And at this juncture of the game, anything seemed possible. But Westfall and the Suns would come up one miracle short. The Celtics would take a dramatic step towards their 13th title by winning the longest game in NBA
They wore him down.
Finals history.
So, Tank, you were 1 year old when that happened, but
What's that?
Yeah, like 6 months old. Yeah, in 76.
Yeah, but it was
There
a
were
great game.
There were 2 triple overtime games in NBA Finals history. Both of them involved the Phoenix Suns.
and Phoenix losing both.
Oh, one was with the Bulls. Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. They actually won the one against the Bulls.
Okay.
Yeah.
They actually won that game. That was Game 3 in '93, where it went triple overtime.
So the Celtics, did they win the NBA title in '76 by 6 games or 7 games?
6.
It was 6. Yeah.
It was 6.
Yeah. It just seemed like a 7-game series because it was so close. I like that team. That was a good team. You know, they didn't have Larry Bird, but they had Havlicek. He was a great player, and Cowens, and it was just a likable team. JoJo White, Don Nelson.
Yeah, there's nobody really. You remember all these team names because you grew up with this and it was your team, but but nothing for an outsider. Nothing I latch onto.
Oh, okay.
Either Phoenix.
Did you like? I liked watching the games on TV with Brent Musburger. He was doing the games.
Yeah, I remember that.
He did a good job. That was also the game.
That, you played it on here one time. The CBS Sports Give It All You Got.
Yeah.
Every last shot.
Wasn't that a great song? God damn, that was good. Yeah.
I mean, that's actually the creative.
Yeah.
You don't see any creative.
No.
You know, I was just thinking about this. You just said, I was listening on the Sirius XM, the 70s channel. And I noticed that they had they played the old Casey Kasem from America's Top 40 on that
I can
channel.
find it. It's the NBA.
And there was one week, it was like 1976, a couple of weeks ago, they played it. They had 3 television theme songs within the America's Top 40 that week.
Mm-hmm. They were so
and I
good.
think about today, there's no what happened to the TV theme shows.
I know. There's no
There's
creativity.
none-
It's so bland. It's just so plain vanilla. It's very disappointing.
I mean, you had shows like Welcome Back, Carter had a theme song that was
yeah.
was a classic one. The one from Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah.
And Happy Days. All 3 of these were in the top 40.
Right. I know. It was TV was amazing back then. It was so good. People watched it. People planned their weeks around these shows. And the music this is, I think this is it. Let's see if this is it. I don't know if we can play it. Yeah, here we are. Is it?
Give it all you got, take your very best shot, and may the best team win. The time is now, the name of the game is action. They're on the floor and they're ready to score, so let the game begin. And let's see how the ball's gonna bounce today. Welcome to NBA. Come on and join the rest of the crowd. There's another classical bout from your way. You'll see the best in basketball when you watch the NBA. When you watch the NBA on CBS. You'll see the best in basketball on CBS.
I think it gets your fingers tapping.
It's a catchy tune.
It's very catchy.
On CBS.
Yeah, and then Monday Night Football, of course, was going on then, and that was in terms of production, what a production that was.
Oh, and it was huge, too. When it would come to Buffalo, when it would come to Cleveland and Buffalo and Cincinnati, for cities like that, that was part of their year when they'd host a Monday night game back in the day.
And I had to watch the halftime highlights.
That's the only time you'd see other teams play, most of the time.
Yeah.
Out of market.
And they had the music going in the background. It was perfect.
Yeah, we're a bunch of old men, here wishing on the good old days, aren't we?
Do you remember the hockey that year? That was a matchup of two pretty good teams, the Flyers and the Canadiens. The Canadiens were starting their dynasty.
And it was really the end of the Flyers
right.
At that time, too. The Broad Street Bullies were going on hiatus there.
Yeah, Flyers beat the third straight. The Flyers won 74 and 75.
Right. So this was they were trying to three-peat, and they didn't even come close, right? I think they got swept.
They got swept.
Yeah.
The Canadiens in the 70s were just an absolute powerhouse.
Right. They had some great names on that team. They had Yvan Cornier. Cornoyer. A lot of French names. Guy Lapointe.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a few other. Jacques, was it Jacques Lemaire? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's a big name.
Jacques Lemaire, yeah. Jacques Lemaire actually later became coach of the Devils and was the coach of the Devils when they won their first Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's right.
Fond memories, huh? Was that 97?
99.
95. And Larry Robinson
95.
was the interim coach when they won the second cup.
Oh. So that's a
and
big.
He was on it.
Yeah, that's a big Montreal, Jersey Devils connection. Yeah.
Larry Robinson did that. That was like I think he won like a handful of Selkie trophies.
Smuggling Frenchman on the team. Smuggling.
Best defensive forward.
Dealing in Quebecois.
But the real key to the Canadians was Ken Dryden in goal.
Yeah.
He shut him down.
Oh God! I gotta find this for you. This is something that you're gonna want to play next week.
All right. What's that?
In the around 77, 78, Guy Lafleur came out with his own disco album.
Oh, Guy Lafleur.
Like instructions, while with these like this boom, get on the power play,
Oh no! And is he singing it?
He's not singing it, but he's like giving these like, when I'm in the corner, I like to get the pass and look for the pass and look for the shot. Make it your best shot. Make it your best shot.
Oh.
On the power play. Up on the power play.
He's rapping it. I see.
He sounds about as good as. He sounds about as good as Gene Wilder in Silver Streak.
Almost, but we're gonna come out on break here.
Yeah, that made us think of that scene in Silver Streak.
I'll send it for you for next week. I'll send it for you for next week so you can set it up.
Oh, okay. If you know where to find it, because if not, I'll track it down. But that's a great suggestion. Love to hear that.
Okay. All right.
I'll send it right away because I think I know where I can find it.
Okay. Now before we head out the door here, there were two questions I wanted to ask you, and this takes us back to good thoughts of the day. So Frank, I want you to tell me your the most greatest moment ever of being a Mets fan and the worst moment ever of being a Mets fan. What two would you single out for those two positions there, starting with the greatest first?
Winning the '86 World Series.
Of course. Of course.
Okay. Yeah, that was a wonderful accomplishment, wasn't it? Being beating Boston too when the Yankees couldn't, you were able to do it. Was it like double satisfaction? New York beats Boston.
Yep.
And even the Yankee fans, were on your side because you were beating Boston, right?
Some of them were.
I mean, didn't the city feel like it was pulling as one?
Yes.
Yeah. Man, that must have been good times. And then with a crazy-ass team on top of that, it wasn't like you had, the most incredible team of all-star baseball players ever. You had a team of misfits who played it up even more.
No, they were good. It's just that they were just like the Marauders.
Yeah, I shouldn't say that their technical skills were extremely fine too. Yeah, but they were still rascals. Okay, if that's the best, what's the worst?
The collapse in 2007.
So it was like down the stretch she fell apart? What happened there?
They had a 7-game lead with 17 games to go, and they lost. It.
So who won the division that year?
Phillies.
Oh, no.
Philly.
Philly
was the one that did it to you. Oh. Yeah, that was the year the Rockies won the National League, I think.
Ooh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, they played the Red Sox, so the Mets could have played the Red Sox.
Wow.
In the World Series.
Yeah, the Mets just completely imploded over the last 3 weeks of the season.
Huh. Who were the good players on the Mets that year?
David Wright, Carlos Delgado, Carlos Beltran, Jose Reyes. They had Moises Alou on that team.
Oh, Moises Alou. Nice.
That's really
Nico
going back
Martinez
in
was
time.
on the team, but he was injured.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Wacker was injured. And that's sort of what happened. The pitching just fell apart.
Gee. Yeah.
And then they turned to Luis Castillo, who was just the absolute fucking worst.
Well, I'm sorry that happened to you,
John
Frank.
Green was in that team. That was like the end of his career.
Yeah, it was coming near the end. Say with Moises Alou, it was near the end of all those old timers are getting ready to tap out there. But how to be so close and then have it just blow out in the final moments when you needed production. That's frustrating. Cool, and that's baseball, and that's why we love the game. There's two highs and lows moments.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Frank Fleming, Sports Encyclopedia, sportsencyclopedia.com, and a major contributor to Barstool.
Yeah.
Well, Portnoy is sitting out on I think he's in Nantucket, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, well, maybe I'll see him when I go out there.
Hopefully you're not too close to him because there was a digger next door to him. Thank you, Frank.
Frank, we're going to go to our break, so
And same
nice
with Brian.
talking to
We
you.
got Brian on the line, but we'll pick you up after the break here.
So until next week, try to stay safe.
All right, bye.
All right, bye-bye. We're going to go to our break. We'll be right back with more Chad Dog Sports Talk.
We're told that greatness is exceptional, when it should be expected. You choose every day to live your life intentionally, without apology for how bright your light may shine. So go be great. Go be brilliant. Go be you. Go defy life. The Defy Life movement is one that speaks to each of us in its own way. Defy Life gear speaks to us all by reminding us that one size does not fit all. Visit DefyLifeGear.com to get fitted for greatness.
The law office of Brandon S. Chabner, serving clients in Southern California with transactional legal services since 2007. We handle general, corporate, outside counsel type work, drafting and negotiating a wide variety of business and commercial contracts, including non-disclosure agreements, independent contractor agreements, and employment agreements. Our experience includes working with public and private companies and involves a broad range of industries, including healthcare, consumer products, real estate, and high technology. Mr. Chabner has over 20 years of legal experience, having worked for some larger national firms and serving as general counsel for a multi-million-dollar private company here in Southern California before starting his own legal practice. His educational credentials include a law degree from UCLA, where he was on law review, undergraduate degree at Yale, where he graduated magna cum laude, and an MBA from Harvard Business School. Other areas of focus for Chabner Law include press release and business plan editing, pre-litigation matters, and debt and mortgage resolution work. You can contact us at 310-698-0740 and at bchabner@chabnerlaw.com.
Like Chabdog said, he was 100% right.
He can take all comers.
Hey, you got something for me?
Yeah, there was some guy here from Miles Juergens looking for you. They need sparring partners for Apollo Creed.
Put me on.
Here's the car.
When was they here?
About an hour ago.
They'll probably look for sparring partners for Creed, you know?
I said that before, you dumb dago!
You know, I've been coming in for 6 years, and 6 years you've been sticking it to me. I want to know how come.
You don't want to know.
Yeah, I want to know how come.
You want to know?
I want to know how!
Okay, I'm going to tell you. Because you had the talent to become a good fighter. And instead of that, you became a leg breaker. Some cheap, second-rate loan shark.
It's a living?
It's a waste of life.
Yes. May I help you? Oh, you must be Mr. Rocky Balboa. Mr. Juergens expecting you. Just a moment. Mr. Rocky Balboa to see you, sir. Fine. Will you please go in, Mr. Balboa?
Can I have that?
Oh, certainly.
Thanks.
Mr. Balboa. How are you? George Juergens. Take a chair, please.
Thanks.
Mr. Balboa.
Call me Rocky.
It's Rocky. Tell me, Rocky, you got any representation? You have a manager?
No, just me.
Rocky, I've got a proposition I'd like to make to you.
A sparring?
Beg your pardon?
Well, I just said I know you're looking for sparring partners, and I just want to say I'm very available, you know.
Sure you are.
Absolutely. Sparring with the champ would be an honor, and you know what, Mr. Juergens?
What?
I wouldn't take no cheap shots either. I'd really be a good sparring partner, you know.
You don't understand me, Rocky. My proposition's this. Would you be interested in fighting Apollo Creed for the World Heavyweight Championship?
No.
Listen, Rocky. Apollo's seen you fight. He likes you. He wants to fight you.
Well, it's just that you see, I fight in clubs, you know, and I'm really a ham and egg. This guy, he's the best, and it wouldn't be such a good fight. But thank you very much, you know. I appreciate it. You know.
Rocky, do you believe that America is the land of opportunity?
Yeah.
Apollo Creed does. And he's going to prove it to the whole world by giving an unknown a shot at the title. And that unknown is you. He picked you, Rocky. Rocky, it's the chance of a lifetime. You can't pass it by. What do you say?
All right, fellas, that's enough pictures. We want to ask Apollo a few questions. Apollo, how do you like the city of brotherly love?
Well, just being in Philadelphia makes me feel patriotic. Beautiful people in a beautiful city coming up to me on the street wishing me the best. I love my Philadelphia brothers, and I'm proud to be an American.
Apollo, why did you agree to fight a man who has virtually no chance of winning?
Look, if history proves one thing, American history proves that everybody's got a chance to win. Didn't you guys ever hear of Valley Forge or Bunker Hill?
Apollo, it is a coincidence that you're fighting a white man on the most celebrated day in the country's history?
I don't know about that. Is it a coincidence that he's fighting a black man on the most celebrated day in the country's history?
Right on.
Tell the truth, brother.
Listen,
All right,
Apollo,
yeah.
tell me, how do you feel about your challenger?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Come here, Rock. It's my man. Rocky, ain't you Italian?
Yeah, I'm Italian.
Well, now, what does that mean?
That means if he can't fight, I bet he can cook.
Do me a favor. His lungs punch out.
Well, Rocky, how do you expect to fight Apollo Creed?
Well, geez, you know, Creed's the best. I guess I'll have to do the best I can.
Tell me, Rocky, just between us, where did you get the name Italian Stallion?
I invented that about 8 years ago when I was eating dinner.
Rocky, now your payday will be $150,000. Any comment?
You got no comment, Rocky, right?
No.
No comment.
No.
Right. Thank you, Rocky.
Oh,
very
wait,
much.
I just want to say hi to my girlfriend, okay?
Yeah.
Yo, Adrian, it's me, Rocky.
Look at this. You believe all this? Look at the microphone and all that stuff.
No, you didn't.
Thank you, Rocky.
You push him, man. Immaculate mouth.
Thank you, Rocky. Well,
No
ladies
matter
and
he
gentlemen,
making you out a fool,
a
and break his
bicentennial
lips.
fight, January 1st,
He's taking
the
cheap
first
shots.
Don't bother me none.
birthday, and
Yo,
already
Rock.
people are saying it's the
I
biggest
guess you'd be
bar.
looking for people that help you out.
Help what?
If this man survives,
Keep you living a clean life.
I'll do okay, you know.
Need someone to help with the exercise and someone standing by with a towel or running errands, you know that.
Hey, yo, Paul, who cared about me yesterday, huh? Nobody. So I just think I'm going to train myself, you know?
Without such good people around to help, you don't have such a good chance.
Einstein flunked out of school twice.
That's
Yeah. Beethoven was deaf. Helen Keller was blind. I think Rocky's got a good chance. You want me to get you a beer, Paulie?
Hey, you looking to do a good deed? Keep out of my freaking life.
What did I do?
Nothing.
Did I say something wrong?
You didn't say nothing. It's all right.
That's right, you didn't say nothing. Nothing at all.
I gotta go.
Where's the freaking pretzels? I got the pretzels. Hey, didn't you have any beer? I thought you were supposed to pick up some beer.
How'd you like hearing your name on TV tonight?
I was shocked. Why'd you do that?
Come on, you put me on, right?
Absolutely. What time should I expect you?
Oh, about 7. Hey.
So sweet.
Hey.
Hey.
You know, I said that stuff on TV didn't bother me none.
Yeah?
Did.
All right, well, that was from Rocky. And now we're back. Second half of Chab Dog Sports Talk. We got Brian Keller on the line from Sports Rock. Or Sport Rocks. Hey,
Yeah.
Brian, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. All right.
I got to get my my words correct. It's
Well, there's two
Sport
sites
Rocks.
now. There's a private site and there's a public site. Am I
Oh, is
correct?
that true? Why don't you illuminate, educate us on this? Because I'm not privy to all these details here.
Sport Rocks right now is our current site.
Mm-hmm.
Sport Rocks. It will revert back to Sports Rock at some point. We had to alter the name and rework the group. Unfortunately, due to
You mean you didn't want to be...
The fucking shooters don't even know. Don't you get it?
yeah, we had a rogue member who decided.
Can we go into the details of this at all?
Rogue members,
Brian, or is this not for public consumption?
Well, it's no huge deal. It's
salacious.
Did you-
not private or anything.
Give me my cheese whiz, boy.
To belong to our vast majority of groups. He was one of the co-creators of many of the groups.
Oh.
Had some words of disagreement with some of us other folks.
Mm-hmm.
Got a little upset about it. Decided that he was going to leave and try to take, quote, his group's quotes away from us. And we'd already agreed that these family of groups is a community and family, so there is no one really owns any individual groups.
Mm.
You get your input or create them. Anyway, as a result of that, we had to rework about 40 different groups because he had, as a creator of a Facebook group, you can't be removed. So
Mm-hmm.
we had to
So
take groups
so
away
he was
from him that way.
he was doing things without your
And
consent.
it turned out that unfortunately, after working on this for about a month, his account had been suspended. Apparently, something else he did. But turns out we left his name. We left him active in a couple of groups that we overlooked, and one of them, unfortunately, was my Sport Rock. So.
Yeah.
So came back and changed our name to that wonderful one you saw probably. had to scramble and recreate the group and close down the other one.
Reminds me of that scene from Private Parts where they're doing the match game quiz, and one of the blanks is blank a doodle do. I've got cock. I've got cock.
Yeah, that was kind of. It was very frustrating. I was really pissed off. You can imagine initially, but
that's like Brian. What's this? That's an interesting name you chose to rename your site. Does that have to do with the South Carolina Gamecocks?
He came in and changed their name to Sports Cock. And the way their Facebook works is you can't change the name again for another 30 days.
Right.
Couldn't fix it.
So you were
just had to
you were just fucked, man.
I know. Had to get rid of him and recreate the whole group. So that's
it's a lot of work for you. I'm sorry.
But that's not, you can have an oral agreement as you gentlemen did, but you whose fault that is, that's Facebook's fault. Because the guy had leverage on you, but he only had leverage on you because of the way Facebook set it up, not because of the way you people set it up. Correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So that's I'm liking Facebook less and less, and not fill in the blank.
We're all a prisoner.
Or Twitter or any of these other information services that we are two-way information services, because the media used to be one way. You just get it, the radio. You could yell at the radio, but they'd never hear you. Now they can hear you. Facebook can hear you, or at least the people we talk to. We're getting to the audience, but excuse me, those that manage it, the management structure is shaky. And that's an example of it right there. Yeah, it's you didn't grant these rights to this asshole, and he just messed around with your membership base for what? Because of some trickery was introduced on the Facebook side.
It's not trickery. It's just the way they have it set up. They have administrators, right? And if you're an administrator, you can make changes. And so you guys had multiple administrators, so that's what happens.
Yeah, but you can't then remove people. Removing people is a chore. It's got to be easier.
I don't know. I guess removing an administrator can be done, right, Brian?
Not if you're the creator. You can't be removed. This guy couldn't be removed.
The one that
the
one that actually creates the group is like hands off. So you can't.
Yeah. So
that. The only way to get rid of it. The only thing you can do is remove everybody else from the entire group. And that just leaves that one person.
See, but they don't want to. Facebook doesn't want to be. They're kind of like an escrow agent. They don't want to be dragged into a dispute between.
Well, they're pinning it on. They're doing that because they want to pin liability on one person.
They
if
just
they have to. So there's somebody who's hung there.
They refuse to be.
So
in
let's
that
put
position.
the way if the site did become the cock site or the white power cock site, then they need somebody to blame. They need somebody to sue. And if it's all this nebulous group of people where there's no one owner and more of a communal ownership.
So just the moral of the story is be careful who you get in bed with on a Facebook site.
Well, because Facebook is protecting
you're stuck
their
with them
interests.
for life for that Facebook group.
Yeah, and it's going to be white power with the white power cocks. Imagine a lightning flash.
That was crazy.
That's crazy. Oh yeah, more coffee.
Yeah. Sorry. Thanks.
We're working things out.
So good to have you on, and we already talked a little about the basketball in '76, and I'm sure you remember that crazy games. It was a game 5, I think, the one that went to double overtime.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, classic. Just baskets, and some strategy. They went through the Phoenix. Phoenix did something very tricky at the end of the game, and they were losing by 1 point. The ball was under their basket with 1 second left, and I think they called a timeout they couldn't call or something, and they got hit with a technical foul, and the Celtics made the foul shot to get it to a 2-point lead. But then Phoenix had calculated that was a good move because after that they get the ball at midcourt. And so they were able to get the ball to Garfield Hurt for that crazy shot that he made to send it into the third overtime. And it was an exciting game. That was also the game where the referee got assaulted, I think. Do you remember that? Richie Powers?
Don't remember that.
Yeah, he got into a fight with a fan. Yeah, it was crazy and heated in the Boston Garden that day. And of course there was we can talk about the football. That was the Cowboys and the Steelers. And that was
Steelers and Cowboys first one.
Yeah, first one.
First one, is it? Yeah, first. Yeah.
21-17. That was the game where Swan had that incredible catch. Bradshaw threw it up for grabs, and Swan went up on like the 50-yard line, and I think it bounced off his chest at first, and then as he's falling to the ground, he's able to catch it. I think Cliff Harris was the one he burned on that play, and that was just a memorable play from that great Super Bowl. And
that was a big year with them in the Super Bowl, and then of course my Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, the Reds, and we can. Do you have a clip from the Reds? I think I got a clip for the Reds series.
I think that's the one that blew out. I'll have to look for it.
You don't have it? We don't have it? Oh, damn.
Not ready. No.
Yeah, it was a clip.
Bad News Bears.
It was a clip of Johnny Bench turning on a fastball, just redirecting it, and he hit two home runs in the final game. It was a sweep. Yeah, it was that was really the height of the Big Red Machine, I would say. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know, what happened to them the next year. Did they trade away some players?
What happened to Cincinnati? Let's see.
They lost to the Dodgers. I guess they lost out to the Dodgers, and the Dodgers went to the World Series for the next 2 years.
Yeah, they remained competitive for a couple of more years there. Yeah, but
yeah, but eventually those guys got old. A bunch of them went to the Phillies. Rose went to the Phillies. Morgan went to the Phillies, I think. Johnny Bench just got old. But they had to be damn good to sweep a Yankees team that was just turning into a powerhouse.
It was a year before Reggie.
Yeah, it was during '77 they started to kind of take the team slowly apart. There's, for example, that Zachary was traded to the Mets, but they picked up Tom Seaver. But Gary Nolan was traded.
Yeah.
Eastwood was traded. Yeah.
These aren't like, these names you're mentioning are not household names, but when you get rid of enough of these kind of very functional, integral pieces, you lose the magic. I mean, the Reds had a interesting collection of, kind of better, good to average pitchers. Nobody.
Right.
Nobody that really blew your socks off, and they didn't have a stopper. They just had a bunch of guys that could win 10 to 13 games. And
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why I feel like that lineup they had was those. At some point, that was the best lineup I ever saw. Not talking about the pitchers, but so you're a Reds fan? I didn't really even. Did you grow? Is that because you grew up in that area?
No, not at all. I just happened to take a fancy to the Big Red Machine of the '70s there.
Mm-hmm.
California Angels is my team.
Local
boys.
American League team.
American League, yeah.
An American League girlfriend, and you got a National League girlfriend. I see.
Yeah, a lot of us have that.
Yeah, like football, it's the team formerly known as the Skims, and then I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Has always been a favorite.
Oh,
what do you make of that? What do you make of that forced name change, Brian?
Oh, a couple of years ago, I thought it was a bunch of horse poop.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. But the more I think about it, it is pretty straightforward racist when you go that way. But so yeah, I figured it's time to move on from that.
Really? Did you think Redskins was a prerogative term 10 years ago, 20 years ago?
Well, I thought it was. I could see it being considered, but I just thought it was ridiculous to be concerned about it.
Okay.
It's part of the steeped in the tradition, all that good stuff. And
but you thought it was so through. Would you say through your whole life or most of your life, you were taught that word was something derogatory and was generally considered derogatory, that there weren't good uses of it, only bad ones?
I heard that. I actually felt that it was acceptable. Let's put it that way. I was.
Did you ever hear it used? Other than the team growing up, for all the time you grew up, did you ever hear the word Redskins ever used? And if so, do you remember when or where?
Redskins. Well, except for.
Well, you hear it in some movies, old westerns.
I mean, in life.
Some old movies.
I mean, in society, growing up.
That's true. The westerns, yeah.
Yeah, but they'd say pale skins. They'd say all kinds of
unless you
things.
live in an area where there are a lot of American Indians, it's why are you even going to hear it? It's probably not going to come up.
Yeah, that's yeah.
But even around areas where you did live around, where there were American Indians, which is spots where I lived, the word didn't come up either. It's not how locals referred to the Indians. It's called the Indians, not.
Yeah, I know. I just don't know. It just never struck me as being anything truly offensive. But now, I can see it. Now I can see. Some of my attitudes and thoughts on some of this stuff has evolved over the years. Like I figured for a long time, I thought, what's wrong with the rebel flag? I always associated it with Southern heritage.
Yeah.
And all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously there was a bunch of folks that thought otherwise, and they went back and forth on it over the years. This is all not really new. You remember that about 4 years ago, there was a big flack about the flag, and a few places decided to remove it, but not all of them. And similarly with the Redskins, that was brought up time and time again over the last decade, probably.
Oh yeah, this isn't the first time.
The old owner always stood up and said, "No, that's my team. That's our name. We're gonna stick with it."
So
but with the light of everything that's going on, it's probably best. If it's going to satisfy the majority, then that's what you got to do.
Is it majority or is it just a very vocal minority?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think I used to be a very vocal minority, but now it's turned to a slight majority at least.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we're going to have any more changes before the season starts?
Any other names?
Any of the other names going to...
We know
I
the
heard
Indians.
The Indians were talking.
Indians. Well, they're in the process. Do we think the Chiefs will
I
be?
know they got rid of that. They got away from that crazy logo they had.
Yeah, but if you're going to change Indians,
the Braves did away with the Braves did away with their mascot a few years ago as well.
Yeah.
It seems silly because that's looked more like an honor than a slur,
Yeah,
you know?
like Chiefs, the same thing.
like Redskins.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to?
Yeah, Brian, I asked you those questions because I reflected my own upbringing. That word was never used as pejorative before me by anybody. And when it was brought up in old westerns and stuff like that, they also used paleface, and it was in context of other things that were there, and wasn't necessarily racist, or at least overtly racist.
Paleface to refer to whites,
right? And then they're Redskins, and they say Chinaman. I mean, these old westerns were full of all kinds of stereotypes. If we're going to go there, so I'm not going to single out the westerns as well because that made it pejorative. No, that didn't make it pejorative. I don't know the word in my lifetime. I've never known the word to be pejorative. And when I went to ask, and I've told this story before, I was told that Redskins not referring to the natives; it's referring to the people in Boston, the white men who boarded the ships, the Tea Party, to throw the tea overboard. And the only reason they could get onto the ships was because the stevedores back then were the Indians. So they just dressed up as Indians. And so the Patriots who threw the tea overboard in Boston Harbor in the night were called Redskins. And that's what, and of course it was the Boston Redskins, the Boston Braves, the Boston Redskins, the team originated in. I've told this story. Chad Dog, you know the story. I've told this story before.
Well, let's hear what Chief Dan George has to say about this.
Oh yeah.
Why don't you go to that? Yeah, we're going to play a clip from. It's over on the end there on the right. It's right from the Outlaw Josie Wales.
Yeah, this is great. It's a short piece from Chief Dan George of North Vancouver, British Columbia, by the way. And they in fact, that's one of the reservations I live next to.
Name's Josie Wales. I've heard of that name.
He's my neighbor.
You can turn
Some
up.
said you'd be headed this way.
I love this.
And they said a man could get rich on reward money. He could kill you.
Seems like you was looking to gain some money here.
Actually, I was looking to gain an edge. I thought you might be someone who would sneak up behind me with a gun.
Where'd you ever get an idea like that? Besides, it ain't supposed to be easy to sneak up behind an Indian.
An Indian, all right. But here in the nation, they call us the civilized tribe. They call us civilized because we're easy to sneak up on.
Cherokee.
White men have been sneaking up on us for years.
Cherokee, huh?
Yeah. They sneaked up on us and they told us we wouldn't be happy here. They said we would be happier in the nations. So they took away our land
March of Tears.
and sent us here.
Yeah, George Washington.
I have a fine woman and 2 sons, but they all died on the Trail of Tears. And now the white man is sneaking up on me again.
Yeah, the great Chief Dan George.
He actually walked away at the end, but he's saying, and Clint walks away. I mean, that's not very polite.
Well, where was I? Lost my train of thought.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, back to reparations. Yeah, speaking of reparations, how about we get back? Yeah, how about we all get back? Okay, so we're gonna get rid of the name Redskins, and let's give the team. I think Dan Snyder, he's wealthy enough, so he can afford to give the team to the Indians. And I think we have to give back all the Indian land that we took. So it's we put them in Oklahoma, so they were actually in probably the island of your parents have that property, needs to be confiscated and given back to the Indians, Nantucket.
Well, that was Indians. There were Indians there.
Yeah, so you get off their land.
There's Indians everywhere, pretty much in the United States.
And Brian, you're on Indian land too.
Yeah, an interesting one. I'll tell you. My wife here happens to be. She is 1/8 Choctaw.
Mm-hmm.
Choctaw.
Big tribe in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact. And great grandfather or great married an Indian woman. One of those things.
Yeah. Does she look, when you look at her, can you tell that she's part Indian?
Not at all. She's as fair skinned as can be and red haired.
Oh, red haired. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's an Irish Indian you got there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like an Irish Indian.
Yeah. It's really, but it's part of your history. Yeah. Does she have any stories about her relatives? Like, does it go back that far?
They're so far removed, I believe, that not much said.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then it was just, predominantly, of course, white. Her mother, though, came from Arizona. So that's where the major part of her mother's side came from Arizona there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess he just married this Indian woman and moved on to Arizona, and so the family grew from there.
Okay.
And then,
Yeah, because Oklahoma Territory, that was where they took the Indians out of the East Coast in places like Nantucket and dumped them in Oklahoma.
Well,
Did you know that? You knew that, Chab Dog, right?
That was part of the March. Was that the part of the March?
No, the Marcheteers. No, it got worse. So they kicked them all off but then the Marcheteers was for the West Indians, for the Indians in the West, and that came a few years later.
No, the Marcheteers was the Cherokees in Georgia. Everybody they were pushing them west.
Oh, is that
yeah?
Oh, okay. So that was pushing them on into Oklahoma Territory.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not an expert in this, but yeah, basically what you said is what happened. A lot of Indians got relocated to Oklahoma, and that is now where you have the highest Indian population, I think.
Mm-hmm. And then they had rights to the oil and everything there, and once they found oil there, then the whites in Texas found a way to get in there and prosper at the Indians' expense.
Well, they may have drained their milkshake.
Yeah, but their milkshake brought the boys to the yard.
Interesting. Sorry, that's some interesting things came out of '76. I was looking at the baseball.
Yeah. What did you see there? Because we had trouble politically. It was difficult to find anything.
We got Thurman Munson, most valuable player.
Oh, that was his breakout year.
Love Thurman
pretty
Munson.
Much. Yep.
Oh,
Joe Morgan, of course, repeated as the MVP. The Reds, Jim Palmer, Cy Young, and Randy Jones, San Diego Padres.
Yes, Randy Jones, Cy Young.
Yep.
Yeah, he had a great year, didn't he? Well, I mean, didn't he win like 24 games?
22 games, yeah.
But he never...
I was looking there. Brett won the American League batting title, and Bill... Mad Dog won the National League batting title.
Madlock. Yeah.
Yep, Madlock. Yep.
Madlock was...
Greg Delos led the American League with just 32 home runs. What was else? Lee May, 109 RBIs was enough to top the American League that year.
Lee May of the Orioles.
The Orioles, yep.
It's kind of a low number.
There was... a kid named Mark the Bird Fidrich won the ERA title at 2.34.
Oh, so that was that the year that he was going crazy, talking to the ball and stuff? That was.
Yeah, he became a phenomenon that year.
Yeah.
Well, that was pretty much it for him. The one-hit wonders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we had, What else was going on? Oh, we have a clip for the golf. You can play the golf. Do you know who won the golf that year?
What happened in golf there?
Yeah, well, the U.S. Open.
Oh, here we go.
Here, we'll play the U.S. Open clip.
He's done it. He's done it. Jerry Pate, who started the day
Jim McKay.
1 under par, is now 2 under par.
Jerry Pate. Wow.
Remember him?
The leader in the U.S.
He's a one-timer.
22-year-old rookie.
On the 71st
Got
hole.
a bowl cut.
One more water hole lies ahead. One more pond.
Looks like he drives an Oldsmobile.
Like his pants,
On
huh?
the tee. Same hole, remember. The 18th. He's got the lead in the Open.
Yeah, that's an Oldsmobile Cutlass man there.
They're moving to the right, and he's in the rough. He's in the rough.
Uh-oh.
It's a longer shot than Guy Berger's, but more.
I think Jim McKay did a good job on this.
Than of Weisskopf's.
Jim McKay, I know Jim McKay ever didn't do a good job.
Pate.
He's a great call.
He's a great. He's very on top of everything. He's got a good voice.
Good voice.
Pleasant to listen to.
Well cadenced.
And he had this guy Dave Marr, who was his sidekick in the golf, and they work well together. Watch this.
From the rough, across the sand trap, onto the green.
You couldn't even see it because the camera was off.
Camera can't even find it.
Look where the ball is.
Yeah, it's within.
That's a 4-footer, right?
What?
3-footer.
If that.
It's the kind of putt I could miss, but he would never miss.
He wouldn't miss it. Not after a shot like that. Oh, and he also escaped a water hazard.
Right, there's a huge freaking water hazard. Like you expect a big crocodile to walk onto the alligator to walk onto the
I'm
green.
impressed. He got maximum accuracy. Back.
Jerry Pate has won the Open with a round of 68.
I probably got a new Oldsmobile for that.
Yeah.
Throwing the ball into the crowd.
All right.
Never heard of him.
Do you ever watch the golf, Brian?
I used to, and then I really got caught up when Tiger Woods was going nuts. Well, there's a story here. Tiger Woods actually was a graduate of my high school. Of course, years after me, but Western High School in Anaheim, California.
Wow. So what's your score in Perkins?
What's that?
What's your score in Perkins, Brian? Can you outscore Tiger in Perkins?
No. I'm not following you.
That's the joke.
Oh, well, it was Tiger Woods and the waitresses at Perkins. They take in the closet.
Oh.
I didn't hear about that. I don't know anything.
That's the joke.
All right. Ba-dum-bum.
Hey, a big fall from grace. Typical athletes.
Yeah. And we had in tennis we had Bjorn Borg playing Eli Nastase in the Wimbledon final. That was the first year that Borg won Wimbledon out of 4 in a row.
Wow. Everyone looks so British. They look more British back then.
Nastase was
Swedish and
just 20 years of age.
This was his last
Only
hurrah.
20? God,
Many
he's
queued
40.
all night to see the match.
That guy's 20?
Nastase to serve.
Yeah, Borg. He's a young guy.
Wow. All their tennis whites there.
Nastase wins the first game.
He's drinking
If either
coffee
is
or something.
favourite,
Did you
it's
see that?
probably the
Mhm.
swarthy Romanian.
Look at a cup of
Nobody's
coffee. Or it was
underestimating his Swedish
fluid in a
opponent,
cup
least
of
of all
coffee.
Nastase.
Borg was so cool.
They look like girls with that level, that hair, those haircuts, don't you think so?
It was the 70s.
Yeah, they look like men look like girls with the hair.
They
hair
just
like
had
that.
long hair.
Yeah,
you know.
curly hair.
I had long. You should have seen my high school picture. It was 6th grade. I looked like a girl. I had this long hair. It was very embarrassing. My mom should have never let me go out of the house
The
like
opening
that.
games
Let
suggest
alone take a
Nastase
picture.
triumphed. Then the
Yeah.
young
You
blonde
probably passed that around the prison.
I couldn't believe it when I looked at that picture. I was like, "That's me."
Nastase thinks about his change in fortune.
It was like
By now,
Nastase's
Borg is
haircut.
in full
I
cry.
know I had hair like that too. I'm not saying I was out of that.
Well, you are watching.
I got hair like that right now. What am I talking about? I got a haircut in months.
Boggs the winner, and his racket goes sky high.
All right. Well, anyway,
It's a wooden racket. You got to be careful. You're going to break it that way.
Hey, you like them. That's nice.
That was Bjorn Borg.
Yep. And we talked
Chrissy
to
won the women's Wimbledon that year.
who won the Wimbledons?
Women?
Chrissy?
Chrissy?
Chrissy Everett.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Jim Rome used to interview her.
Yeah, she's.
Oh yeah, Romy.
Or was that Steve Everett?
Oh, Everett. I got you.
Yeah, the quarterback.
Jim
Steve
Everett.
Jim
I used to
Everett.
listen to old Romy there, and when I lived in Vegas, he was on a station there
Mhm.
all the time. But I remember that Everett incident. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of gave him a level of fame he was able to play off for a few years and get into some bigger and better gigs.
Yeah, yeah.
And Everett, I think Everett still lives in Anaheim, if I'm not mistaken. He's local.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
He had a lot of. That was very tough to be the starting quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams. All the publicity and all the media mob kind of ruined him, I guess.
Oh. Well, they were pretty good with him as their quarterback, weren't they?
For a moment.
They had
yeah.
They had their
Couple of years there.
the playoffs games.
For a moment, it seemed.
I remember his team got killed by the Giants, I think. In one
Yeah,
of
he
those
got killed by
games.
somebody.
Just destroyed.
Flattened.
Yeah.
Did
Done anything to get gun shy.
Did I see a Carl Reiner clip or something there? Maybe
No,
not.
I wish Carl Reiner. Yeah, he didn't do anything in '76.
Well,
that we
he
know of.
died. We were going to play a little tribute to him or something, but I don't know
Oh,
if
yeah,
there's
he died at
anything.
the beginning of the week. Yeah, we missed that.
Yeah. Yeah, Carl Reiner died. He was 99.
Yep.
Did a lot of good stuff
Yeah.
in terms of comedies.
Yeah, he goes back with those old connection with Mel Brooks and those guys. Yeah.
You show is actually that's what I was going to pull out was a you show if I don't.
Oh,
know
we got. What other clips do you want to play for
We do
Brian?
some
We got Taxi Driver. You want to hear Taxi Driver? That was 1976.
Oh yeah, Taxi Driver. Yeah.
And we got
Midway. Could you do
Midway.
Oh, fine. How long's Taxi? Let's do Midway then if we still
All
have
right.
appetite. Because Midway's this was such a great movie. Great stars.
Now, Midway, the most incredible feeling of combat you will ever experience in a motion picture theater, as Universal surrounds you with the sights, sounds, and actual sensations of battle. So real, you can almost feel it.
Oh, kamikazes. What a vicious fight.
Midway, the most important cast of the year in the screen's magnificent triumph. Charlton Heston is Captain Matt Garth.
Tape
They took the bait, Admiral.
AMS to
be Midway Island.
Henry Fonda is Admiral Chester Nimitz.
Our three carriers and their escorts are all the sands between the enemy fleet and the American coastline.
USS Nimitz. Right?
James Coburn is Captain
Oh,
Maddox.
Coburn.
If you're wrong, Admiral,
Cost you a pack
we
of
send our
smokes.
carriers into a Japanese ambush.
Yeah.
The entire
I
west
love
coast of
Coburn.
Warren Island will be wide open for invasion.
Glenn Ford is Admiral Spruill.
Glenn Ford.
Al Holbrook is
Al
Commander Rochefort. Toshiro Mifune is Admiral Yamamoto.
He's from
Robert Mitchum,
Mitchum.
is Admiral Halsey.
Oh, my
Cliff
God.
Robertson
Oh,
is
Cliff
Commander
Robertson.
Taft.
Cliff
Robert
Robertson.
Wagner.
Robert
is
Wagner.
Lieutenant Commander Blake.
Everybody.
And Edward Albert
Hold on.
is Lieutenant Tom Gard.
Yeah, Charlton Heston's coming up.
I've fallen in love with a Japanese girl.
Who's he?
6 months after Pearl
Charlton
Harbor,
Heston.
you have one lousy sense of timing.
Damn it, I'm an American. What makes us different from German Americans or Italian Americans?
Pearl Harbor, I guess.
Our objective is Midway.
Admiral Yamaguchi advises that we launch an attack on the American carrier immediately. That we send our bombers out however they're armed.
Well, gentlemen, it started. Signal Spruill.
Robert Weber.
This is the personal story of the people who made the Battle of Midway the turning point of the war in the Pacific.
Banzai. So many people.
No, Eddie Albert.
No, it's not. It's someone else. There's another Edward Albert actor.
So real, you can
It's not Eddie
almost
Albert.
feel it. Midway.
Oliver in there, classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Edward Albert. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite a cast, man.
I know.
Quite a cast.
Can't beat that.
I mean, it was a weird.
It might have been one of the last big movies that had that many big-time names in it.
Right. Well, then don't forget Cannonball Run.
Or a bridge too far. No, really, Cannonball Run. Yeah.
It did have a lot of guys in it.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of like Mad
Sammy Davis
Mad
and,
Worldish.
Steve
Yeah.
Martin.
Yeah, Mad World had the most characters, I think.
World.
Mad World had they had the Three Stooges.
They set the standard. Jerry Lewis.
Yeah.
Big people, yeah.
Carrie was out that year.
Carrie.
What's that?
Remember the movie
horror
Carrie?
movie,
Yeah,
Carrie.
horror movie.
Oh, with Sally Field, Sissy Spacek.
Sissy Spacek.
Yeah. I always get them.
Sally Field, yeah. Imagine if Sally Field did that part. She'd start levitating like the flying nun with blood all over her. And do like a Reagan. Yeah. Ooh, that would have been... No, well.
The first Omen movie came out, too.
Oh.
Yes.
Damien.
Omen 1, Omen 2. How many Omens do you want?
Was that with Gregory Peck? Was he in that? And
yes.
And
yes. Yeah.
Lee Remick. Yeah.
Yes. Lee Remick as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if she did the sequels, but she was in the original.
See if you can guess who the woman is in this clip. Or play this one.
And my possessions. I should get one of those signs that says one of these days I'm going to get organized.
You mean organized?
Organized. Organized. It's a joke. ORGANEZIEZD.
Oh, you mean organized, like those little signs they have in offices that say FIMP?
Do you like the place you work in?
Gee. He's going to
That's
hit her.
good people working for us. And I think Palentine's got a good chance.
Hang on.
You know you have beautiful eyes.
I don't know.
Do you like the guy you
We
work
can
with?
ask him when
He's okay.
Yeah, but I know, but do you like him?
Well, he's funny and he's very good at his job. He's okay. Though he does have a few problems.
I would say he has quite a few problems. His energy seems to go in the wrong places. When I walked in and I saw you two sitting there, I could just tell by the way you were both relating that there was no connection whatsoever. And I felt when I walked in that there was something between us. There was an impulse that we were both following. So that gave me the right to come in and talk to you. Otherwise, I never would have felt that I had the right to talk to you or say anything
It's a
to you.
polite way to come on
I
to a
never would
girl,
have had the
Chad
courage
Dog.
to talk
Watch
to
and learn.
I don't think
I felt
Travis
there was
is the
nothing,
right person
and I
to
could
give
sense it.
lessons.
When I
This is
walked in,
great.
I knew I was right. Did you feel that way?
I wouldn't be here if I didn't.
Exactly. Her panties are so wet right now.
I don't know.
Where are you from?
She's trying to figure out
Upstate.
what's his deal.
That fellow you work with, I don't like him. Not that I don't like him, I just think he's silly.
Albert Brooks.
I don't think he respects you.
I don't believe I've ever met anyone quite like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if the biggest Jufro in history in that movie.
Really?
Yeah. He's so funny. His hair is like everywhere. So who is the woman? Did you get that?
Oh, no, I don't get it.
Can you name another movie?
I'll give you a hint.
Give you a hint with a.
She was in her
for you.
famous TV role was in
How about a movie?
opposite Bruce Willis in Moonlighting.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got another movie.
Oh, Sybil.
Yeah, Sybil Shepherd.
Sybil Shepherd.
Why?
It's almost forgotten, isn't it?
What was her movie?
The Last Picture Show.
Oh,
with Peter Bogdanovich.
Yes.
directed by Peter Bogdanovich.
I never saw that.
Yeah, she was very famous for that.
Do you like Peter Bogdanovich? I think he's a great director.
Yeah, I mean, he's not Francis Ford Coppola great, but he's
people
great.
Make a big deal about him,
In a good way or a bad way?
I kind of sense they think he's the shit.
So that's in a good way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I would definitely favor. I mean, directors, all directors, they're putting out an image. Everyone, people who talk, human beings, we express ourselves, and we can be prone to misunderstanding. He has such complex ideas; he's often prone to misunderstanding. But I believe at his heart, he's deeply putting forth a message, and a vision, and a philosophy, and a good one at that. So yeah, I like Bogdanovich.
Yeah. What else did he do? You don't know?
Okay. Off the top of my head, I cannot remember.
Well, we can research that.
Seen so many movies in my lifetime; it's starting to pour out my ears.
That was another one from 1976, and
so it was a bicentennial year. It was also another one of these leap years, guys. Like we're having this year, leap year, extra day, February 20th.
Oh,
so that was weird about it.
Yeah, right.
And then was swine flu in 75 or 76? It was during Ford administration. Was it the swine flu year?
You'd have to look it up. I don't remember.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
I remember the swine flu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ford.
I don't recall. That was the first year I was able to vote in the presidential election.
Oh.
Oh, so you must have voted for Lyndon LaRouche then.
Who did you vote for? Can you tell us?
He was running. He was on the ticket, right?
That was Mr. Jimmy.
Did you vote for Carter?
Yeah. Who?
Yep.
You voted for Jimmy Carter?
Oh, yeah.
I voted for Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
I was a lot more liberal back then.
I think he was a good choice. I mean, long before there was Carter malaise, there was Ford malaise, and people were just looking forward to a change.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's a good man. I mean, I don't, we can discuss the some of the negative outcomes of his policies, but that doesn't take away that he wasn't a good man and that he doesn't have a good heart, and he's not. He's a smart man.
Exactly, and I mean, probably the last truly good, honest president that we've had. I'm sure all the way around.
Yeah, humanitarian, who's also a PhD in nuclear physics. He's captain of a nuclear submarine for the U.S. Navy.
Mm-hmm.
Smart guy. And he was a peanut farmer. Oh, just a peanut farmer from Plains, Georgia. Yeah, this little guy here is nuclear scientist here. President.
Okay.
Habitats for Humanity.
Wait, you mean you don't think Trump is good and honest?
Well, Trump's himself, just as Jimmy Carter is himself. He's genuine. So too is the president. He's a very genuine man. You just got to know what you're looking at.
I think he established his reputation earlier in business, and it's held true in general. He's operated the presidency accordingly.
Yeah, he likes parsimony, he likes lawsuits, likes to create disruption.
He likes real collegial environments where he has advisors he can bounce things off of, and rule by consensus, that kind of thing.
He does?
I'm just
okay,
kidding.
thank you. I was gonna say,
I'm being sarcastic.
That's right. Yeah, when Nixon was president, we could name his advisors, his staff, Haldeman.
Weren't we talking about this? We were talking about this earlier.
Or was it deja vu? Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
A week ago, we were talking about the same thing. So.
Yeah, Nixon had Haldeman, Ehrlichman, Mitchell.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, the big guy.
And the Watergate
Kissinger
burglars.
Well, that was Haldeman and Mitchell.
What were the names of those guys? Do you remember? Remember the names of those guys?
Oh. Other than G. Gordon Liddy?
Rebozo and Colson. Howard Hunt.
G. Gordon Liddy.
I just remember these names. They're burned into my memory.
Brian, did you ever listen to G. Gordon Liddy on the radio when he used to have his radio show in the late 90s?
No, I didn't.
The G-Man. Yeah, you could tune into the G-Man. That was a lot of fun.
All right, well...
and I remember, those names kind of... Yeah, I can remember those names being mentioned back in the day.
So you getting excited about baseball coming back? We're getting close, aren't we?
supposedly getting close. I don't know. It's like, let's just do it. I don't even know if the excitement's kind of faded, to be honest with you.
Yeah, hasn't it?
Once it gets going, it'll be fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Because right now I'm
we'll just get used to no fans. And
I'm dead inside.
Yeah, well, I'll be in Nantucket watching Red Sox games with my dad, so that'll be special.
In empty stadiums.
Special, yeah. So,
I'll cut out some Tom Landry.
You'll have to carry the show in August for a few weeks, okay?
I always do.
I know you do. So that you look forward to that. Then you can really turn it into a non-sports free for all.
Oh, it'll be a leftist. It's going to be a leftist cock show.
Beware, Brian. I'm not going to be here to moderate.
Yeah. Give me that guy's email. I want to team up with him, Brian. I'm going to invite him on the show, whoever this guy is. The guy who had the idea for cock. Yeah, we'll make it the leftist cock show. Leftist cockfight. There we go.
You could definitely post those shows on Sports Cock. I think that'd be perfect.
Yeah, I thought that was a joke or something at first. I didn't quite know how to read that, but you just go by in life. It's like whatever. Oh, we haven't talked about yet. We haven't talked about Goya Foods. Brian, have you ever bought a Goya product in your life?
I was just thinking that yesterday. Nope. I've never bought one of their products. I mean, I'm aware of them. I see them everywhere. I did frequent many Mexican markets in my day.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, that's a big brand.
Mm-hmm.
Big brand. Yeah, but I'm not. Well, it's like big deal to me. I understand people getting upset about it. Though.
All I can say is there's a lot of Republicans out there and that run companies, and so if you're trying to boycott every single one of those companies, good luck. There's a lot of them.
Oh, exactly. Oh, and I was hitting on some people on not my sports, but people were talking about boycotting the NFL and blah, blah, blah. They got these memes going around about a bunch of spoiled thugs who disrespect our flag and we should boycott. Blah, blah, blah. So I told them, I said, you know what, folks, think about this. You'll have to boycott all of their sponsors. And by the way, you'll have to boycott a certain Fox network. It's a radical right's favorite news.
Yeah, but they carry the NFC, so that means you got to boycott the NFC too.
Well, you have to boycott the NFC because of the Redskins.
Well, that's easy. I'm already planning to do that.
Yeah. Well,
they're talking about boycotting the NFL, and they said, "Well, remember, Fox is one of their networks."
If I'm Dan Schneider, I turn around to FedEx and say, "Look, I got a contract here, and your name's on it, and you got to pay. And there's nothing. You're breaching contract here by asking me to change my name." Because the name was proven in a trademark case 4 years ago by federal courts. There's nothing at issue here. Honor your contract. And I say the same to Pepsi, and I say the same to Nike. Because right now you can't buy Redskin merchandise on the Nike website. And if you go there, there's not even an explanation. You'll see merch for 31 teams, and nothing for the Redskins, and no explanation why, by the way. Like, it's very Orwellian. It's just like they just disappeared. Yeah, Redskins, that never existed. What are you talking about? That's breach of contract.
Yeah, right.
There's nothing illegal about using the name Redskins. That's breach of contract. Why don't they just sue the sons of a bitches?
Well, who would have standing to sue? Would it be the NFL?
It'd be the team. It'd be Dan Snyder and the Redskins organization, limited corporation over there.
I guess so.
That's breach of contract. Fuck them. Excuse my French.
Well, while we bandy that about, we're probably going to go end the show because we're past the point of no return here.
I had no idea. Sorry.
We're into extra time. So we'll hold that thought for next week. It was great having you on, Brian, and we're going to go out with...
How not to get your ass kicked by the police?
No, we're going to go out with the Eagles song.
Yeah, Les Grossman from Tropic Thunder.
Pretty Maids. Pretty Maids. This is my favorite Eagles song, I think.
Yeah.
off of the Hotel California album, 1976.
Probably the most peaceful, most graceful song off of the album, by the way.
Yeah.
Great song. You'll recognize once we're into it.
Joe
Probably heard it for a
Walsh's
while.
voice is amazing.
It's a nice slow beat.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. It's a big one. It's always fun, guys.
All right.
Well, thank you, Brian.
All right, Brian. Take care. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, stay cool.
All right.
You bet. Thanks.
All right, everybody. Have a very mellow, peaceful, happy Sunday.
Yeah, you deserve it. We all deserve a peaceful.
Yes.
Yeah. No news. Just relax.
And get your pretty maids all in a row.
It's nice to hear from you again, and the story